On the show, in Showtime, we walk you through this year's Geneva Motor Show. In Face to Face, we meet the CEO of Rolls-Royce as he talks about their plans for launching an SUV. And in the best of luxury driving, we drive the Mercedes-Benz CLA to Orcha in Madhya Pradesh.
This week on the show, I bring you some action from one of the oldest motor shows on planet Earth. And the relevance of this show is that this happens right in the beginning of the year, which means that some of the concepts and the cars which you see here actually sometimes get translated into real production cars during the course of the year. Yes, I am talking about Geneva. And now it's time for me to walk you through the show and show you some very interesting cars and some which are pure eye candy.
This is the 85th year the Geneva show is being held, and as usual, most European manufacturers and even some specialty houses for customizing and design were present, along with, of course, some of the biggest brands from the motoring world. Volkswagen and its group companies had a huge presence, with all the names under the group umbrella like Audi, Lamborghini, Bentley, Bugatti, Skoda and Seat being present here in full force. Volkswagen used this platform this year not only to reveal some new updated models, but also to showcase their concept car, which in the future would be the replacement for the hugely successful Passat, which was named this year as the European Car of the Year.
This is the GTE concept that Volkswagen is displaying at the Geneva Motor Show. One look at the car and you can see that this is indeed a very good looking car. But this car is also important in another aspect. This is the car which is sporting Volkswagen's future design philosophy, new lines. And if you're going to be a potential Volkswagen customer for the future, I can tell you, you will be driving some very good looking Volkswagen cars.
This new design is actually as the trend of the new generation of Volkswagen, which will come in the market in the future. It's an evolution of the current one. There is no break into the design, into the styling, but it's an evolution with a lot of lines and playing a lot with the lights. So this very model is a prototype. So there is no start of sales announced, even it's not decided to be produced so far. The language of Volkswagen is we become more modern with much more light lines, tornado lines, but it stays a Volkswagen. And the front end of the Volkswagen is absolutely, immediately, you can recognize it. The Indian market is a highly promising market. This is absolutely clear, and the brand is committed to the Indian market. The group is committed to the Indian market. We had more product in the Indian market, and we are really working hard to bring new models in the next months. So far, nothing can be announced, but we have a very clear plan in mind.
Another Volkswagen Group company, Audi too, had plenty to show. But what was relevant for the Indian market was the new Q7, which will eventually find its way here. The new Q7 sports new design lines and is a car which has been very popular globally. The design update will give it a new fresh lease of life. Audi also showcased their technology flagship, the R8, in its new shape. The R8 too has had many changes to the front and the rear, and for delivering the sports car-like power output, it will use a V10 Plus engine. Mercedes too had a large presence, and they showcased their entire range of new generation cars, including the AMG GT, which they had recently launched and can be considered to be a successor to the most powerful Mercedes, the SLS AMG, which was discontinued last year. The AMG GT was of course the crowd puller here, while as the long display lineup had other models like the GLE 450 AMG Coupe and the GLE 350D 4MATIC.
India's number 2 car manufacturer, Hyundai, had some years ago launched a relatively small SUV called the Tucson. Some of you might even remember it. At this year's Geneva Motor Show, they launched the all-new Tucson. However, it remains to be seen whether we will see it in India anytime soon.
And there were future concept cars too, and one that caught the attention most was the stunning LFSA from Lexus, which clearly showed its intention here to get into the compact segment in the future and aim at the mass market. The LFSA concept looked futuristic and in true Lexus standards was really well finished, but it will be few years, if at all, before we see this transformed into a real production car. Also on display was the bigger LFC2 concept, which looked absolutely stunning. Rolls-Royce was also present with the new Ghost, the Wraith and a custom-made version of the Phantom called the Serenity, which looked stunning, draped in the best quality silk for the interiors and personalized motifs inside the car. This is only one piece made for a customer who of course was willing to pay the hefty price tag with all the customization in it. From Nissan came another compact concept called the Sway, which looked promising with its edgy design and a bold futuristic look, which again can be a potential replacement for the Micra when it does go into production. But the bad news is that for reasons of their own, Nissan will not produce this in India, so the Indian market will have to make do with the familiar and unexciting Micra for a long time. Coming up next, we continue with the action from the Geneva Motor Show. And in Face to Face, we meet the CEO of Rolls-Royce as he talks about their plans for launching an SUV.